Hello. Okay. Um, I just saw E3, both Microsoft and Sony's little press conference. Which one did I find more impressive? Like it's a fucking net question. It's so fucking obvious what I thought was more impressive. Yeah, Sony definitely impressed me. Um, just so much to get into. Um, they may have more multi-plat titles, I guess, or more. Sony had more well, not multi-plat, but more going to PC and PlayStation 4 games than what Sony did. I mean, Microsoft did. In fact, Microsoft only had two games that were multi-plat between PC and Xbox One. Um, they are kind of exclusives. It's just that they're more console exclusive. They're not exactly since they're going on the PCs as well. They're just called console exclusive because they're not going to the other consoles. They're just going to that one. And this is known to happen before, especially with Microsoft and Sony. Sony used to do it, I believe, with their PlayStation 2, and then Microsoft really did it with the Xbox 360, bringing these so-called console exclusive games from that were both ported to both PC and into only their console. But anyways, overall with Sony, I don't know if I'm going to pre-order it or just see if I can get it under launch. I'll probably do the dumber thing and end up getting it like 5 or 6 months later. Yeah, I'm actually going to get it, people. Yeah, I'm going to actually go out and get me a PlayStation 4. Oh, God. Ever since the PlayStation 3 came out, oh man, I have been. Yeah, I've never liked it. I have never liked the PlayStation 3. I don't care if the PlayStation 4 randomly breaks and all this other shit. I just wanted a game console to play fucking games on, and I didn't want it to be owned by Microsoft. And like I said, when after the Xbox 360 was introduced and then they showed off the PlayStation 3, I felt a massive amount of just complete disappointment and sadness. And my assumptions of the PlayStation 3 ended up turning right. I mean, yes, it was breaking pre-order sales because the PlayStation 2 was like the most used console out there for games back then. But anyways, it's obvious how Sony blew me away today, or tonight. And after hearing the Microsoft press conference and seeing all the games, which I knew they were going to bring, and I said it in somewhat of lightness, I knew they were going to bring those games though. Even though that most of the videos that I've checked out found them lackluster, and only a few people said, "Well, Microsoft's bringing games. They're butt fucking me on used games, and I always have to be online. No, uh, every 24 hours, or my whole thing will brick, and will only unbrick if I can get it reconnected back on the internet." Some people think, "Well, my internet never goes down. All devices are always online." Yeah, go check out my last video. Tell me if my iPod Touch was online when I started playing those games, and if that thing required me to have 24 hours to be connected, every 24 hours to be connected on the internet, or it would all shut down. Or, even the single player games would all, shut down. Did Sony screw up on their press conference? Yes and no. The free to play game on their multiplayer end is quite dead. Now you have to get a PlayStation Gold membership. I mean, PlayStation Plus membership to play the online games. Don't really care about that. Mainly, what I want to know is, do I need a PlayStation Plus membership to even do Netflix and all those other basic services? If I do, fuck you, Sony. There's no fucking reason to put those apps behind there. And by the way, what scared me about the whole Microsoft conference was basically when they brought up the price of, you know, $500. They brought up a $499 price tag, which is about $100 close to what Sony brought up with their PlayStation 3. $599. But since they got up there and said we allowed used games and trading of games and all this shit, and we have no DRM insanity behind our backs, except for one kind of DRM. Those games will only work on PlayStation 4. It's kind of a form of a DRM, but whatever. Details. But still, overall. But then, when Microsoft got up, yeah, I mean, like I said, when Microsoft said, $600, I was afraid Sony was going to get up there. I mean, no, wait, Microsoft $600. I meant $500. I thought Sony was going to get up there and repeat last thing and say $599 again. Which, if I heard that, I would just beg for death right there. Just, fuck it. Sony's done. They're no longer making consoles anymore. They're out. Those idiots fucked up. But I didn't get that. What did I hear? $399. I literally just couldn't. It was like a shock. $399. $100 cheaper than what Microsoft's Xbox One is, but at least it's not $100 more expensive than what Microsoft's Xbox One is. That's fantastic. And here's the best part. After the whole thing was done, I ended up picking up other information. The dual camera stand thingamabob. Well, it was going to be bundled with the system. Not any fucking more. Sony decided they're not going to bundle it. I think for obvious reasons. And guess what? I don't have to get the fucking thing. I mean, whatever games that comes with that in mind or attached to it, don't mean shit to me. And as for the design of the PlayStation 4, I like it. It's a box with some interesting diagonal edges on both ends. But I'll say this, and nobody's saying this because everyone's like, I mean, the Xbox fanboys are the ones who's having a hard time, realizing that Microsoft is completely fucked up, or saying that, oh, but it looks like a DVR system, or it looks no different. Now, here's the thing. The PS4, it looks like an actual console. Maybe the same size as the Xbox One and all, but it looks like an actual console. It looks like a console that I can actually put on my system and like it. And, it looks like an actual fucking console. I mean, the Xbox One, they went for the block design. I mean, the DVR fucking VHS and the old DVD players and the old Blu-ray players design. With Sony, at least, they just decided to put at least some kind of angles to it. Make it like a console. Make it look like a fucking console at least. Yes, it's got somewhat of a DVR look to it, but when I look at it, it's like looking at a gaming console, not a DVR system. And the controller looks so much more better than the PlayStation 3's controller. The PlayStation 3 basically just pissed me off, and I will still complain and yell about that piece of fucking shit. Can't even believe that thing actually made it to market. And hearing that whole cloud computing nonsense from fucking Microsoft and the fucking Drivatar nonsense, well, that just makes my head hurt. Oh, but you need the cloud so your avatar will be able to understand. And it's not even attached to a single computer. Yes, it fucking is. it doesn't just go out into some mystical little mystic air and just float around and nothingness. It goes to a computer. A computer relates this information and does all the math and then shoots it back to your fucking console. That's how the cloud works. That's why, when you have cloud desktops or cloud gaming, you're just connected to another computer out there, and then it's giving you back information of all the shit you're doing to it from your own computer. What the fuck is hard to understand about the cloud? There is no mystical, mist out there or some invisible bubble. Well, it kind of is. It's known as transmitting information back and forth. But what you're doing is that you're just transferring to one computer onto another computer. That's the cloud. When I kept hearing him say drivatar, all I wanted to do was just grab his drivatar and throw him out the fucking window and watch him tumble into the ground and watch all the other cards or the other drivatars run his drivatar over about 50 or 60 times. It would have been grand to watch. And I'm going to agree with a few people that Microsoft is making the same mistakes that Sony made, and when Sony was bringing out the PlayStation 3, and Microsoft just kept hitting those points one after another after another after another. And of course, what surprised me was watching Adam Sandler, the guy who's like, I'm going to rewrite my childhood and say that Microsoft provided me with the greatest game console since I was a child. Dude, according to your age, your first gaming console was a fucking Atari, 2600, and then went on to Nintendo and so forth. But yeah, Microsoft delivered a crappy gaming console. And what was funny was that I predicted all this shit. I knew Microsoft was going to clusterfuck this whole thing. I didn't know exactly how they were going to clusterfuck it. Of course, they did that with their blogging system, and now they've done that. Now they put that final nail in their coffin with the fucking price. $4.99. Way to go, Microsoft. You pretty much killed your console. And you made sure that your console can't get back up, unlike the PlayStation 3. I mean, the PlayStation 3, yeah, it came out at $600 or $599, but it was able to kind of redeem itself because they didn't come up with batshit insane fucking rules of used game markets and forcing people to do certain shit, and of course needing internet every 24 hours. That shit's like, just going out with the woman you love all your entire life. You take her out some back alley, and then you just suddenly, just out of nowhere, saying this is for your own good, and bludgeoned her to death with a fucking aluminum baseball bat until she's pretty much dead, and then shoot her, and then keep shooting her, and then run her over with the steamroller, and then just throwing what's ever left into a giant blender and just watch what mangled mess will come flying out of it. Whatever, Microsoft, you've lost me. I know that Microsoft hit all the highest pre-orders than Sony did right now, but you know what? With that whole recommended online bullshit on there, and people who have down internets, that happen a lot or frequently, which still happens in the U.S., are just people who live in rural areas where there are dial-ups or little to no internet. I predict that they're going to be insanely pissed off and throwing those consoles back at Microsoft in nothing but a shit storm of complete anger. I mean, right now, I don't think these people even know. They're just saying, "Oh, look, there's a new Xbox coming out. Let's pre-order that," and then finding all the restrictions that are going to come to it when they finally get the damn thing, and then they're trying to trade games, doing all this shit they can do with their Xbox 360, but they can't do with their Xbox One, and they're going to like, well, what the fuck happened? They're going to look up to the information and realize what fucking gullible idiots they are, and it's just going to end in one huge cluster fucking mess, and they're going to, of course, do the only thing they can do, or what they know how to do, throw those fuckers away. And guess what they're gonna buy next? Wii U's and fucking PS4s. And given to that they're completely gullible and buying a $500 system out of a $300 system and even though it's less powerful, the Wii U, and a $400 system which is more powerful than the Xbox One. Yeah, they're just going to come out as complete idiots. And not only that, these other two systems have no restrictions or batshit crazy instructions. I feel sorry for people who have no internet. Once they find out that those Xboxers are out there and they go to that grocery store and buy it, they're going to end up with a very expensive DVD slash Blu-ray player slash remote control TV changer that they can't play any fucking games on whatsoever because they're in the dead zone. And they're going to just sit there and go, why the hell is this happening? Well, you know what? You could have gone to a friend's house and checked out their internet, even though it's on dial up, and realize they fucked you.
This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
PlayStation